started with a loud knock on my door at dawn. Two men in dark uniforms claimed to be HOA police, insisting they had a warrant to arrest me for supposed violations on my property. Their tone was aggressive, bordering on threatening, and they didn't seem interested in listening to explanations. Most people would have panicked under that pressure, but I knew better. I had encountered situations like this before, and I always stayed 3 steps ahead. HOA police? That's a new one, I said casually, keeping my voice calm, measured, and disarming. I don't recall signing up for that department. Their expressions flickered, irritation mixing with disbelief. Sir, this is official. We have orders to enforce fines and evictions. Orders, sure, I interrupted, stepping aside to let them in while subtly assessing the room. But do you also have clearance from the actual authorities? The two men exchanged glances. That hesitation was all I needed. They didn't know that I wasn't just a property owner. They didn't know I was a trained FBI agent. Years of experience had honed my ability to read situations instantly. I noted the tiny details, their body language, the way their hands hovered near their belts, and the lack of any official identification beyond poorly laminated cards. I moved closer, letting my calm demeanor mask the storm I could unleash in a split second. Look, I said softly, but with unmistakable authority. You're not here to enforce the law. You're here to intimidate, and that's a crime. The words hit harder than they realized. In a blink, the atmosphere shifted. I reached into my coat, not in a threatening way, but in a way that suggested I was fully aware of my rights, my authority, and my options. Their confident posturing wavered. You need to leave? I continued, my tone now ironclad, or you will be detained for impersonating law enforcement. Do you understand? They hesitated, glancing at each other. I could see the panic setting in. Their bluff had been called. They weren't equipped to handle someone trained to deal with exactly this type of deception. Years of undercover work, hostage negotiation, and tactical enforcement had prepared me for this moment. Finally, one of them stammered, We'll come back with. No, you won't, I interrupted, cutting him off. You won't. And if you try, it will be recorded, reported, and prosecuted. You're lucky I don't involve the local authorities right now and have you escorted out immediately. With that, they retreated hastily, leaving their fake badges and paperwork behind. I watched them go, calm but ever vigilant, making sure they didn't try to circle back. My family, who had been quietly observing from a safe distance, breathed a sigh of relief. The morning sun cast long shadows across the yard, but I remained focused. The incident became a lesson in overconfidence for the fake officers and a demonstration of precise, controlled authority for anyone who might try to take advantage of perceived weakness. Impersonating law enforcement is a serious offense, and most people don't realize the consequences until it's too late. By the time I finished securing my property, everything was back in order. The HOA had learned a quiet lesson as well. Some residents aren't just ordinary homeowners. They are trained professionals who understand the law, their rights, and the consequences of deception. That day, the supposed officers learned that authority can't be faked, and intimidation only works if you underestimate the person standing before you. Sometimes it's not about brute force. It's about awareness, preparation, and the quiet power of knowing you hold the upper hand. That morning, I demonstrated all three. The HOA agents, or rather imposters, never came back, and I regained peace of mind on my property. The lesson was simple but permanent. Never assume someone is defenseless simply because they appear ordinary.